I'm wondering, when it comes to the Psalms and your own faith during this time, what's the relationship between your own kind of spiritual journey uh, growing up in this very difficult, horrifying situation?
Armenia is a very religious country, and as you know, Armenians are the first people in the world who accepted Christianity in 301. So religion is a big part of our culture, and I grew up in that religious environment. I was baptized in the church. I had that habit of going to church every time I felt I'm down, I don't have a mood, I feel encouraged, need of encouragement. So it's something that I was not taught, but I grew up seeing that if you feel bad, you go to church, and that's how you recover.
Mm-hmm.
And living in the United States where I don't have churches around me, not Armenian churches that built like 100 years ago, it's tough for me sometimes when I want to get rid of that negative emotions and I need an encouragement. I do feel the need to go that my favorite church, like the one in Yerevan, and sit there and just sing and recover.
Mm-hmm. During this time in which churches aren't allowed to meet and no large gatherings are happening, have have there been Armenian churches that have begun to put their services online as so many other churches have done as well?
Yes, all of the churches in Bay Area, the Armenian churches, they do hold their service online. We can follow them through live streaming in Facebook,
Mhm.
and we also get newsletters and updates. So we do keep in touch and we keep up with our community in the church.
Tell me a little bit about your setting, your psalm setting for the Composer Project. Give us a behind the scenes look at what, how did you start? How do you approach setting the psalms?
That was very interesting project that I have done, one of the most interesting projects, and probably one of a kind because I never set a psalm for voice and piano. And voice and piano are one of my most favorite musical instruments to work with. And and the text that I received was I really felt connection with that text, with that section, that psalm. And it's interesting that the inspiration that I got for music mostly comes from the Armenian old church music, the sacred chants, and when I read the text, since I never said English psalm in music, it's interesting that I did it as like I would do the Armenian text. And first thing that I felt was that the church music, the sacred music, those pure, mm, open religious modes, the like luminous, very uplifting. That's how I felt the text musically, and that's how I said it.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord from the heavens. Praise the name of the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. For he commanded, and they were created. He hath also established them forever and ever. He hath made a decree which shall not pass.
The melody begins at in a lower register of the voice and slowly makes its way up. It has this way of ascending over time, and I think that's very effective and fits beautifully with the themes of that song. And then the other thing that I noticed the first time I heard this piece was it did feel like it was new music that was grounded in a very older, ancient tradition. And I remember that came up in one of the conversations that I was having with some other people who were at that the concert where this piece was premiered. So it totally makes sense. I mean, it really is rooted in this ancient tradition. I think it's beautiful. It's really wonderfully effective.
I'm happy that you can feel it because it's hard for me to explain with words all my religious background, you know, the way I grew up and my upbringing. In Armenia, we're not really used to talk too much about the religion. So when it comes for me to explain it with words, it is always hard. It's something very intimate and something inner that I just keep inside myself, and that's how it's sacred and um, precious for me because it's my own.